are we seeing here if not a ghastly nexus between the police and the politician?
That's the culture. That's our culture today. And we're not seeing this for the first time. It's a full network culture. It's a culture of minority which is ruling the majority. It's a total culture of corrupt politicians with corrupt police officers and corrupt bureaucrats, or cowards of police officers, cowards of bureaucrats and corrupt politicians. It's a nexus of cowardice and corruption. Today, our criminal justice system is actually justice for a criminal. It's not a criminal justice system. It's a criminal justice for a criminal. So it's a nexus. The Rathore is able to do something for a corrupt politician, and the corrupt politician pays back in return. And they both have skeletons in the cupboards. It's a very protective regime.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
What has Ruchika to give? What has Ruchika to give to Rathore? But Chautala and the politicians have plenty to take from Rathore, and Rathore has plenty to take from the politics. So it's a nexus of cowardice, nexus of corruption. So it's scratching my back. Rest is all. It's so.
Well, what does an ordinary person do? What do these people do?
As a police officer, I'm amazed to see a DGP of a state recommending in a report that a case should be registered. Well, he can direct the police station to register a case. Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he do that?
He could have asked.
He could have straight away told the SHO to register a complaint. Why is even R.R. Singh has only recommended? He could have, in fact, taken the SHO to task, saying, why have you not registered a case?
And no sanction was required for this prosecution. Let me tell you this.
Well, let me go to Mr. Duggal, who's sitting here, who has said that sanction was needed. Amrit, I'm coming to you.
No sanction was needed.
I'm coming to you in just a second. Mr. Duggal, you said that as then Home Secretary, you needed the sanction of your political bosses to proceed with an FIR.
Not with the FIR, for prosecuting it.
No, you don't.
Under section 197.
197, how is this a discharge of public duties? How has it anything to do? He is sitting as a lawn tennis chap. He has gone and molested a child. What did it have to do with his function as a...
My recommendation is very clear. The file was kept by the minister for 3 months. I got transferred.
So in those 3 months, could you not have pushed to get an FIR filed?
Yes.
Secondly, you need 197 at cognizance stage.
You were not given permission, and you maintained that you needed that permission.
Yeah, because he's a class 1 officer.
Mr. Duggal, don't you have a conscience? Don't you have a daughter at home?
No.
I mean, it's disgusting.
That is why
I don't say a thing like that.
That is why I recommended it should be prosecuted.
Barkha, I want to show you today's paper.
Go ahead, Amrit. Silence, please, there. Yeah.
It's the Sunday Tribune today. It starts with the AP governor, N.D. Tiwari, resigns because of molestation.
Well, not molestation, a different kind of sex scandal.
Sex
not
scandal.
the same thing. Let's not mix up issues here. Yeah.
It says process of withdrawal for Rathore's police medal, right? We are proud of this paper. We go to the back page. Goa Eve teasing, taxi driver held. That means laws are only for people who are not in uniform or who are not in power. Then we should just move the IPC away. We should take it away and then just leave it that, okay, whoever does it.
You can't take away the IPC, please. The police make so much money out of the IPC. Please don't do that.
Manish Tiwari, it's not a popular place to be a politician. It's good of you to come on to the show. My question is simply this. If the Home Ministry can wake up now and issue a show cause notice to Rathore, was the Home Ministry asleep for 19 years under different governments, under the NDA, under the Congress? Did it really take this outrage for the Home Ministry to wonder what this man was doing with the President's medal?
No, I cannot agree with you more, Barkha. It's a classical case of collusion. And there is a need to open the case up, to reinvestigate it, to find as to who are the people at various levels at various points in time who shielded this person. And Mr. Harish Salve said it earlier, and I completely agree with him, that this is a textbook case where people need to be brought to book. And it's unfortunate that it should require a national outrage.
But do you take responsibility for your own party? Because no party is willing to get up and say we made a mistake. Well, I mean, Ajay Chautala will be joining us on the show. He's been throughout saying Congress ki galti hai. Congress is saying Bansilal ki galti hai, Chautala ki galti hai. Where does it stop?
I am not in the business of apportioning blame. I think all those who were responsible or all those who were in office during that period, starting from 1990 till now, all of them are equally responsible.
So should they be investigated? Should their role?
Absolutely.
Should this cover-up be investigated, Hari?
I'll tell you, the key issues which require investigation, and I'll start by telling you this. At least 4 chief ministers have approached me when the Supreme Court directed that transfers and postings of police officers, one of the directions was, has to be entrusted to a panel, paradigms have to be laid, and that has to be done. You have to take this power away from the executive government. At least 4 chief ministers approached me and said, can you settle a review petition for us? I was just curious, not that I was ever going to do it, but I was just curious. I said, why? I mean, why do you need this power? They all laughed in my face and said, iske bina sarkar thodi chal sakti hai. Now that is where we are today. We have to investigate which officer was at which stage involved in delaying this.
Also,
whether
which
the gentleman who's recommended an FIR, I've never heard recommending an FIR. Either you register an FIR, you don't register an FIR. The DG police, if it comes to his notice that a cognizable offence has been committed, he must pull up the SHO for not registering an FIR rather than recommend an FIR. Starting from there, in the ministry, in the CBI, somebody went and opposed adding a charge.
Suicide.
Please find out who all these people are, including the CBI. And all this has to be under the scanner, because this is a classic case. I remember a long time back, when I was in the income tax office, I saw a junior officer walking out of the appellate officer. And there was a senior old wizened chap sitting there. I was much younger then. I said, what is he doing here? He said, beta, ye haath hai na, ye sab log haath ki ungli hain. Sab alag alag hote hain, khate time sab mil jate hain. That is what is going on here. We have to find out who these people are, and there is a way of going about it. Investigate at each stage. These are all people who have abetted the commission of an offence, abetted the destruction of evidence.
But if Kiran says that there is a conspiracy of silence, of you scratch my back and I scratch yours, Anand Prakash is as really the person who has fought this fight along with your daughter. Because, I mean, the Girhotra family was traumatized, their son was slapped with false cases. What was the most difficult thing for you? आप 19 साल से ये लड़ रहे हैं, सबसे मुश्किल क्या था?
The most difficult job was to maintain myself in service under these corrupt officers for these 19 years. So whosoever government bureaucrat, maybe chief administrator, maybe commissioner agriculture, every time they told me, either you leave this case or you will have to face consequences. And one fine morning on 22nd June, it was message of Mr. Om Prakash Chautala through the Commissioner Agriculture Naseem Ahmed, who was considered to be the most honest officer, who called me and said, either you help Mr. Rathod and get the case withdrawn, or we are doing away with you from your service.
He said this openly to you?
Openly to me, and it is in the record also in the High Court. And I told him simply, before me, in comparison to my daughter's honor, I can leave the service, but I can't leave the honor of my daughter.
The High Court...
And I was sacked the same day.
You were sacked?
Yes.
The High Court...
And I appealed to
on his statement. I think the High Court can take cognizance. This is obstructing justice. This is contempt of court. And the High Court has sufficient power to take cognizance of this statement in initiative.
Okay, I want to raise another point, and I want to start with Professor Kachru, who's someone here who knows what it feels like to lose a child. I think if there's anybody here who understands what Mr. Girhotra is feeling, it's you. You've battled the system for your own son. But look at, I mean, I am tempted to say that there's that cliche, the law is an ass. And it feels like that right now, given this bizarre judgment, where the judge is talking about the length of the trial and the age of the convict. What about the age of Ruchika? She was 14. Is this, and with this collapse, sir, how do people like you, how do people like them, how do people like him, how do they fight a system?
They have no choice than to fight the system, because somebody has to fight the system. You cannot really blame the law, but you have to blame the nexus between the police officers and the politicians. This FIR, I saw an advertisement only from police, Delhi police last week, saying everybody has the right to place an FIR, all you need to prove is a cognizable offence. Then why does the Chief Secretary have to get a recommendation from the Minister? Should he put an FIR or not? It's a right.
Mr. Dugal, why was it so difficult for you to file that FIR?
Not filing an FIR. My was that he should be prosecuted under section this. It was the recommendation of prosecution.
But that comes much later.
FIR
Because
is a fundamental right.
Prosecution comes after the FIR.